Alright guys, welcome back to another video. We covered the first 3 seasons of Spongebob and reviewed every episode. Now we are going to be moving on to the movie. Yep, the movie. We are going to be moving on to the movie. Now, I know, technically, we have season 4 and 5 as well that I can review, but I want to review the movie first because, I figured, why not review it? And, technically I've been reviewing from studios just every movie at once, but I figure I'll try it individually like this, even though Nickelodeon has made a lot of movies. They've made a lot of movies. So, yeah, I'm gonna try to, review them down the road. But I figured I'm gonna try to do it like this for now. Because with streaming and stuff, it's getting a lot more complicated to, review every movie of a studio. But I'll do it like this, and if not, I can change it down the road. But for now, we're gonna do it like this. But I do have the iconic orange, Nickelodeon colors for you guys. So, we'll be reviewing that. If you guys haven't already, please hit the like button, subscribe to my channel, make sure you guys are still subscribed. Follow me on Instagram and Threads. And I'm also on X, so follow me on there too. And I'm gonna start trying to post more stuff over there too, but I just haven't got around to doing it. I like to have my stuff kind of backed up somewhere, like posting stuff wise. So that's kind of why I have those platforms. But yeah, you guys can follow me over there, and I'm actually going to be reviewing, Disney movies here pretty soon. But I wanted to get this movie out of the way first. So we're going to review this movie first. Because I, got down and finally watched it. So we're going to be doing that. So, anywho, I think that's about really it. So, let's go ahead and actually get into it. Let's talk about this movie here. So this is the very first of many SpongeBob movies. Many of them. Because we all know Nickelodeon loves SpongeBob. They love it so much. Sometimes I wonder if Mr. Krabs is secretly working for for Nickelodeon, Because that's pretty much what it feels like. A lot of people, in Nickelodeon and all that are greedy with SpongeBob. Some people are kind of sick of the show and all that. And, all of that. In fact, a lot of people actually think that this should have been the finale of the show. Now, I will say, before I talk about my thoughts on the movie itself, I will say I kind of disagree with that. Because I still think SpongeBob was still holding on there afterwards. I think it's because of the dark age of SpongeBob. Because when this movie came out, not long after that, we got season 4 and 5. And I feel like people weren't trashing on Nickelodeon and the show as much. I think it was when we had the dark age of SpongeBob, season 6 and all of that. Yeah, you guys know the seasons with, all those top 10s and all that, I think season 5 has had some on some people's list too, but it's been mostly season 6, through 8 and part of 9 that have had, the bad episodes that were the top 10s. Those episodes, yeah, those are the ones that people, that's kind of where people are like, thinking, the show should have just stopped at the movie and all that. But I made a whole video talking about that, so you guys could check out that. I'll even put a link in for it. When I get around to doing it, I'll put a link in there for you guys. And if I forget, I can always add it later too, when and edit my video. But yeah, I made a whole video talking about that, so I kind of disagree with that. But let's talk about the movie itself though. Let's talk about the movie like it itself. Also, I guess I should point this out too. Apparently, Pie Guy Rules is back too. I didn't bring that up in the last review, but he's back. So yeah, he's back. And he did some reactions to his old list, which he seemed to not really like. But I don't know. I actually didn't mind his reviews. Sure, I kind of disagreed with some of his opinions on some episodes, like saying he said a lot of times if an episode's not funny or, it doesn't deserve to, be a good, but, but I mean, that's his opinion, but I didn't really mind his reviews for the most part. I thought they were pretty good, but I guess he doesn't really like him anymore. I don't know. I mean, he's done 2 of them already, so yeah, but I guess it's good he's back, but, yeah, I guess I'm glad that he's doing okay and all that, because I know he was stressing out because he lost a lot of relatives from his family and all that, but I thought about making a video talking about that, but I'm like, what, I'm doing SpongeBob reviews here. I mean, I'm just gonna talk about it here because I don't have a lot to say about that, but he retired and then he came back, like he was kind of having a hard time deciding if he wanted to quit or not. Some people just quit and and don't want to come back, but he decided to come back. So yeah. But anywho, now I got that news out of the way, let's actually go ahead and talk about this movie. So this movie is actually very nostalgic to a lot of people, including myself. I gotta tell you guys, I love the DVD of this movie. I love watching, the Snickets, with Jim Carrey in it. Not to be confused with Tim Curry, because they have similar names, but Jim Carrey is, in the movie and all that, just watching the previews and stuff it brings back so many memories. Even though I've had a rough, childhood, I still feel like, I can enjoy some of this stuff and all that, here and there. So I like to go back and kind of watch, that stuff. I guess that's before, everything kind of went to hell for me, but even then, I can still enjoy other stuff too, but yeah, I like watching the movie, and on DVD, I like watching the little Paramount logo, appear with the disc. I don't know if you guys remember that. Yeah, that was a big thing, whenever you popped a Paramount DVD in. Not always, but a lot of times they would play, they'd have a little disc that would, play with the logo. It was pretty cool. Sometimes it would let you skip the preview, sometimes it wouldn't. I'm not sure why they had it both ways, but I don't know, it was really interesting. They sadly, I think, got rid of that cool effect. But honestly, I think it works better with the silent logo, not the other logo, the new one we have, because I like that we got music again, but that's part of the epic thing of the older one, the 2000s one. It goes better without music, just having silence and then the disc making sound effects, it's just a bunch of silence and then you hear this disc. It's pretty cool. But yeah, I think they got rid of that, but I do like that they brought back the music though, to the actual logo. I just wish they still used the DVD one, with the new one or something like that, make it silent and all that. I don't know. I mean, they will do something down the road with the logo, but it won't be like this. But I'll talk about it later down the road. Yeah. But it's pretty cool. I'm just saying it's very nostalgic and all that to see that. But, anywho, now let's talk about the movie, though, itself. How is the movie itself? Well, I'm probably gonna get shit on for this, but, I have some complaints with this movie. Yeah, I have some complaints. Do I smell something burning? I think I smell something burning. Oh, shoot. Oh, shoot. Okay, settle down, guys. Settle down, settle down. It's okay, it's alright. Let me explain. I don't need my house catching on fire now. I don't think this movie is necessarily bad, but I do have some problems with this movie. So don't go King Neptune on me and burning my house down now. We don't want that. Like I said, this movie is not bad. I think it's good. Yeah, I think it's definitely a good movie. Also, sorry about that animation error. Oops, I didn't mean to do that. But yeah, I think the movie is definitely good. But I do have some problems with it. So, let me get the story out of the way first. So, apparently SpongeBob is having a dream about, actually, before we talk about the movie itself, we gotta talk about the opening to the movie. Because apparently, I guess there's these random pirates that are overseas, and I guess they find the tickets to the SpongeBob movie. Which, honestly, is kind of weird. I'm like, what these, who put these tickets, who put these tickets in, the chest, and, couldn't they expire? You know? I mean, I don't know. I guess it could be one of those re-releases, too. Maybe they just re-released it in the theaters. I don't know. I figured it'd be its first time going to the theaters and all that. I don't know. It's just kind of weird they have, like, these random tickets just out in the middle of nowhere. But again, Patchy the Pirate had, a random tape of the lost episode of SpongeBob. But then again, that also is considered a lost episode, meaning that he, found it, he found it and all that, but he had it, it was already aired. This would be something that didn't air yet. I don't know, it's just kind of weird, but, I'm not gonna lie, the Pirates, I mean, besides their song, I really don't care about the Pirates a lot. I'm kind of like, why didn't they put Patchy the Pirate in, like, where the hell is Patchy the Pirate in the movie, That's one of my criticisms. I'm like, this is supposed to be a finale, This is supposed to be, because actually it was actually going to be I know that's why fans are saying that, because, fans are saying that, that this should have been the finale, even though, like I said, I disagree. I think at least could have gone on for a couple more seasons before they canceled it, but the thing is, though, with, because, with this and all that, like, I feel like Patchy, playing a big role, in the specials and stuff, like, I think they should have included him in the movie. I think they were talking about doing that, but they didn't do that. I don't know why he wasn't in the movie, Like, they had the opportunity to have him in the movie. Maybe he has a bunch of pirate friends. These are his pirate friends, and then he and the pirates all go to see this movie. I don't know. It just seems kind of weird not to have Patchy in the movie, but have other pirates. Like, it doesn't really make any sense, and it's not like it's a plot or anything. I don't know. It doesn't really make sense to have, it in here. Now, I won't spoil the second movie, but the second movie has a pirate in it, too. But that would make more sense, because that one was more focused on, the pirate himself. This one's just like, just race random pirates in the opening of the movie and all that, and they barely do anything in the movie. They just kind of. I mean, again, I like their song. Their song, their the remix of the SpongeBob, the SpongeBob theme. It's really catchy, but otherwise, it's really not that. There's really not much of them, not much of a reason for them to be there. So like throughout the movie, like we don't even really see them until like towards the end, and then we get cut to them, crying and out in the theaters for a scene, I'll talk about in a second. Of them, crying about it, and then they just like they're trying to like show the audience is like remember guys, the pirates are here. Like we gotta remember the pirates are here, so let's show the pirates. And then they don't show up again until the end credits. There's like an end credits scene that leads to absolutely nothing except for the pirates just like threatening this lady. She's like you folks have to leave and all that, and then he's like okay, and then they all walk away. I just don't see the point of the pirates. Also, I think it's kind of even more doesn't make sense is I think the pirate is actually voiced, or not the pirate, the parrot is actually voiced, I think, by Stephen Hillenburg. I could be wrong, but I think I've heard the parrot is voiced by Stephen Hillenburg, which voices Potty too. So it doesn't make sense why they wouldn't have the pirates in there, if they're gonna have the rest of the stuff anyway. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't make much sense there. But, enough about the pirate stuff, though. I do want to go ahead and talk about the movie. First off, I gotta say, this movie, I talked about how Season 1, by the way, went way out on the water effects, and that Season 2 and 3 kind of did it, but they kind of didn't do it as much as Season 1. Well, at least the early part of Season 1, they did that a lot. I mean, they didn't do it as much later on, but they did it. They still did it, but it was definitely more early Season 1. Where like, later on you would see it in Season 2 and all that. Well, apparently, they go way out on the water effects in this movie. They go way out. Like, you could see it all over the place. You could see the light shining from the top. Like, they really went out on it. It's probably because they had a bigger budget. Movies tend to have bigger budgets, so it makes total sense why they would do that, for the movie. I can't remember if the second one does it or not. I don't remember the third one. I think the third one I watched like one time, and that was it. And after that, I kind of just didn't see the other movies. I've seen part of the Sandy Cheeks movie, because that was a thing too. And from what I could see, it didn't look very good. But yeah, I'm kind of scared to watch some of that. But I'm gonna do it for you guys. But that'll be down the road. That will be in the future. That's kind of where the whole point with this movie comes into. Like, do I want to review them while I'm reviewing the show? Or do I want to review them, afterwards, like with the Nickelodeon set, That's kind of where I'm kind of going back and forth on it. But I'm like, I want to review this movie because, I feel like I kind of want to just to see how it goes, but I can't make any guarantees on that, But yeah, I will say though, yeah, the effects are really good in this movie. They're really good. Another thing in this movie too, I want to point out is the visuals, the designs. The characters, like a lot of them have different designs. Like the background fish, like their skin colors are different. Like, I'm not even kidding. Like, they're like all different, which is kind of interesting. I kind of don't know why they changed the background fish, but they did. They also changed, King Neptune's design. King Neptune's design is, a big, big difference. With the background fish, yeah, there's some different ones. Like, there's one that's sitting by Squidward at the beginning of the movie. She looks like a completely different fish. But there's some that just have different skin colors, But King Neptune looks completely different. Like, he looks different. Like, he's bald, and he's got a bigger nose, and all that. He's, he has, he looks a bit thick, bigger, and you could say, some say, that he could be just older, and that's what I thought, too, when I was little. But no, he's just a completely different King Neptune. And some people might have some criticisms on that one. But the thing is, though, is, there could be always more than one King Neptune, if you think about it. Now, I guess to be fair, though, he's supposed to be the ruler of the seas, But, I mean, the thing is, though, is, again, there could be more than one ruler, too, but yeah, I mean, it does kind of make things confusing, but I think they actually made it canon, too, so both this Neptune and the other one are actually canon, because there is a poster, I think it's a poster, that, exist with both of them on the same poster. I mean, I guess you could say maybe that could be just because, it's celebrating SpongeBob stuff and all that, which I can't remember, what that was. I think it might have been 2019, because they were celebrating SpongeBob's, anniversary there. I don't know. I think they were celebrating its 30th anniversary. No, not 30th anniversary. It's, I think 20th anniversary. Yeah, it's 20th anniversary. I think because that's when they showed it off. But I mean, I wouldn't mind seeing King Neptune again and all that. But I think I heard Mindy is coming back. They actually brought Mindy back in a game or something. So that's good. I mean, I'm glad they haven't completely ignored these characters. I mean, she does appear in a background character, but she played no roles after the movie and all that. So it's good to see her there, But I would be down to see that. I would love to see a special or something like that where we can see two King Neptunes. Maybe they fight over the rightful ruler or something like that. I don't know. They could do something like that, or maybe I don't know. The thing is, though, is there's so many rulers and all that. It's kind of confusing. But I don't know. But yeah, I don't know. It's just kind of interesting to see. But I think they had to do that. I don't know. I heard there was some copyright stuff problems or something like that. I don't know what that was about. I wouldn't think the King Neptune from the show would be copyrighted, but I don't know. I think they had different people working on the stuff. I don't know. It's very confusing. Like I said, it's very, very, very confusing, but I don't know. But yeah, there's a lot of different designs of the characters. Even Karen. Now, this is the one I want to talk about. This is actually a fun fact, because this design actually comes back down the road. So in pre-movie SpongeBob, Karen was not really, much of a character until season 3, and she still only had a couple roles. Here in this movie, she actually moves around more, and they give her a smaller body. Apparently they will go back and forth on her design. But yeah, they'll go back and forth on Karen's design and all that. But I like that they keep the original one, but they also go back and forth. So I guess she can transfer her programming into another computer. It's really nice, just to see her kind of going back and forth. But yeah, they started doing that. I'm guessing because it would be easier that way for her to play more of a role. Because before that, she couldn't leave the chum bucket or anything like that, And I don't know if I've stated this, in my last, my SpongeBob review in season 3. But I mean, I don't want. I mean, we don't need Karen in every single Plankton episode, But it's nice to see her in more episodes, Like, it's kind of like the Krusty Krab. Like, we don't always need we don't really need Plankton stealing the formula or Squidward. There's been episodes where Squidward hasn't been there and they actually make it work. Or even Mr. Krabs, I feel like they kind of make it work, but yeah, I don't know. But yeah, it's nice to see though that they did. I do like this redesign. Now they will change it. I think a little bit. I think they changed her design a little bit. If I'm not mistaken, I could be wrong, but I think they changed her pole part. That's holding her computer up. I think they changed there's a thicker random spot with her in there. I think they get rid of that. I think that was towards her her wheels or something like that. They got rid of that, but I think they kept pretty much everything else. But I don't think she had this design in season 4 either. But it was season 5, I think, when they started doing that. I could be wrong, but I don't remember seeing it in season 4. But I don't know. But yeah, it is interesting to see more of that. But enough about the designs. Let's talk now about the plot itself. Because I will say the visuals look really stunning in this movie. They look very stunning. I do like the visuals. Now let's talk about the movie itself. So the movie itself, so the plot is, now I was talking about this at the beginning of the movie, the beginning of the video, that SpongeBob was waking up from a dream he was having. He was having a dream where he was a manager at a restaurant. And apparently it's finally coming true. And apparently he is becoming, he's becoming the manager of the new Krusty Krab, because apparently Mr. Krabs needs another Krusty Krab, right next door. I don't know why he needs it right next door. Why not spread it out more or something like that? I don't know. Also, SpongeBob apparently has over 300 employee month rewards, which would make him, I think, 53 years old or something like that. I'd have to count. I meant to do that with this, but I think a lot of people kind of point it out as it is, but that means SpongeBob is a lot older in this. However, apparently, he doesn't get the job because apparently he is, I guess, a kid. I guess he's a kid and he has to be more mature and all, which would make more sense, but I don't know why Mr. Krabs needs to use the word freaking kid. Why does he need, since when has Mr. Krabs ever had a problem with SpongeBob being a kid? Yeah, he's gotten on to him about goofing off at times, in karate choppers. And then, he also got on to him for having a seahorse in his restaurant, but he never really, seemed to care about that. So it seems kind of weird for Mr. Krabs just to suddenly care about SpongeBob, being too much like a kid to be a manager. But I guess being a manager is a big responsibility, as Mr. Krabs would put it. It is a very big responsibility. But like I said, Mr. Krabs, let's Squidward become manager. That's the thing, he lets him become manager. And all that. Sorry, I gotta get up. Ooh. Trying to sit down as kind of, my legs are getting tired. Sorry, I had to get up. But yeah, anywho, yeah, so it like I said, it seems kind of weird that Squidward gets it, but SpongeBob doesn't, and Squidward's not any better. Squidward's not mature either. Squidward's a lot more calm than SpongeBob is, but Squidward slacks off all the time and all that. So it just kind of feels like it's kind of forced in there just to, expand the plot, Oh yeah, and the plot, oh yeah, there's like several, jokes throughout this entire thing. I swear, like, it's like there's like this, it's like there's like freaking SpongeBob is creating its own website online or something like that. Like, I mean, if you guys don't know what I'm talking about, like, they literally, like, have, like, freaking, like, several moments where the characters are nude. Like, we see freaking SpongeBob's butt. We, like when he puts on his pants. Which is really weird because, SpongeBob, had underwear on underneath it. So, I don't know what that's all about, but, then we see him in the shower with, Squidward. So we see Squidward naked. And then we see Patrick naked because he forgets to put on his clothes. And then we see, Patrick have a freaking flagpole in his butt. I'm not even joking. I'm serious. Like, he literally has a freaking flagpole in his butt, trying to congratulate SpongeBob with this weird surprise. Like, what was going on Patrick's mind when he thought about doing that? Or heck, even the writers. Like, I mean, I'm not complaining. I'm just saying, like, that. Well, the flagpole thing is a little weird. I mean, you could say seeing, characters naked is too, but I'm just saying, like, having a flagpole and I'm like, how the hell did they not get censored for that? Like, I'm surprised. I'm surprised they didn't get censored for that. Because Nickelodeon, is the same people that censor the freaking, midlife crustaceans. I'm surprised they didn't censor that, too. Again, I'm not complaining. I'm not saying I have a thing for Patrick. I'm just saying, I'm just saying it's weird to see so many, so much of this, nude stuff and all that in this movie. And then we also see Mr. Krabs naked too. So we literally see every character naked. Like, what do we need to see? We need to see Sandy naked. Do we need to see Mindy naked? King Neptune. I mean, King Neptune. I think all he has is like that. All he has is like that shirt on, But I think it's like yeah, I think it's kind of open a little bit, like that jacket. But he's pretty. But I'm just saying, it's kind of weird to see so much of this stuff. It's like its own SpongeBob Rule 34 stuff and all that. Which, yeah, I'm just gonna say, yeah, that's yeah, a while back, I actually was curious about that. I looked that up, and yeah, and like, yeah, it's weird stuff. I saw it on a comment on all that. 'Cause I'm a curious person, and yeah, less to say about that, the better. But yeah, basically though, yeah, so yeah, it's just kind of weird. So there's a lot of nudish jokes in this, thing and all that. But yeah, what ends up happening though too apparently is Plankton also Plankton gets tired of. He's basically tired of Mr. Krabs always having customers. So he wants to go through his file cabinet and apparently has every letter of the alphabet all the way through Y. Y. He goes through the letter Y to see, his plans, and goes through all of them. But apparently he didn't think to go look at Z. Like, Z. Like, come on, this is the same character that literally, like, went to college and all that and does all these experiments. Like, how the hell did he not think about, like, how the hell does he not know the letters of the alphabet? Like, that's crazy. Like, that is crazy, Like, why, why did they think that, why do they like dumb down Plankton like that? It seems kind of weird, you know. I don't know. Yeah, just a little bit of a joke there, but I'm serious though. Why do they do that? You know, why do they need to like make him? I don't know why they need to do that. Because they gotta have like Karen be the voice of reason or something like that. I don't know. I mean, I get Plankton can sometimes not think straight at times, but this is just a little bit weird, you know, to not know that there's the letter Z too. But apparently, the letter Z is apparently, you know, it's maybe Plankton. I mean, maybe Plankton's wife shouldn't have told him about it because Plan Z apparently is the biggest focus of the main the main focus of the movie. So Plankton uses Plan Z to not only steal the crown from Neptune, but also he decides to like frame Mr. Krabs, frame Mr. Krabs, and also like apparently take it all the way to Shell City. Well, I don't know how he got it to Shell City and all that, because Shell City apparently is a place where nobody returns, but somehow Plankton was able to go there. But I guess Plankton is a lot smaller, so he probably could hide better, but it's still kind of weird to see that. But yeah, he goes and frames Mr. Krabs, gets Mr. Krabs frozen. And I'm not gonna lie, I like some of the jokes they do with Mr. Krabs. Like, I like that, like, despite him being frozen, I like that we get to see him, like, move around and all that. Sometimes it's really funny, you know, like, it's kind of funny to just see him like that. Yeah, I mean, you could say it doesn't really make sense, like, why would they freeze him? Like, why would he get frozen and not just thrown in jail if he's just gonna not stay in place, but, like Neptune wanted, but I mean, I don't care. It's not a complaint to me. I think the more curious question is, how did he not melt? Like, just sitting there for a long time. It's kind of interesting. But yeah, I don't know. But yeah, basically though, but Mr. Krabs is like frozen and all that. So apparently, SpongeBob and Patrick have to go on this journey to go save him. I like that Patrick, goes with him to help him out, but Squidward kind of stays behind because Squidward, of course he would. And I like that Mindy, like Mindy is definitely a really good character. Like, I really liked her in this movie, That's why I'm excited that she finally got her own game. Well, not her own game, a role again in a game, which I don't know what it was. I can't remember, but I'm happy that she came back. Actually had a role, because I don't like just having her in as a background, character. Like, I actually I like seeing her, just in there. She's a very good character. And she's also voiced by Scarlett Johansson, too. Scarlett Johansson, voices her. She's the voice of, of Mindy. You might know her from, she played a few characters, I think, in Marvel and all that. I don't know what other things she was in. I know the Marvel stuff because she had some, behind-the-scenes stuff with Disney and all that. I mean, honestly, there's so many things going on with, behind the scenes with these companies and stuff like that. It's kind of sad, And you can say the same thing with Nickelodeon, too. You had some stuff going on there with, like, Dan Strider and all that, But yeah, I don't really know her, in a lot of stuff, but I know she plays a character here that I really like. So that's nice. That's nice to know. But yeah, basically though, she's basically a supporting character. Now, she doesn't play a ton of role. she's kind of more, and she's more in there, she pops in and out. I mean, at least she has more screen time than freaking Sandy. Oh yeah, I haven't even talked about fucking Sandy yet. That's probably one thing that pisses me off about this movie. Not just having Patchy in here, but Sandy. Like, I see it, see Sandy over here. This is like the little title card they use. They use this. I don't know. I don't know, like, if they I use this in like different movie forms or not, because I think they just use the paddy wagon and the giant monsters in the background, which is weird because they actually don't appear in the. They don't really appear, except for like one scene, towards the end of the movie. But I guess it's nice to see him in the background too. But Sandy's got like 2 lines. That's it. I'm not even joking. She really does. Like she says I paid 10 after Mrs. Puff, which has like 1 line. We paid $9 for this, and like Sandy's like, I paid 10. And then she says yee-haw at the end and all that, like, when SpongeBob, saves her and all that. But basically though, which I'll talk about that too in a second. But basically, otherwise, she has like no speaking roles and basically does really nothing in the movie. And I kind of hate that. I mean, she's a very important character, and also, again, this was originally supposed to be the finale, So yeah, I mean, yeah, you can see kind of where I have some issues with it, I kind of don't really like that, but there is a character I do like, though, and, that is apparently, Plankton hires Dennis, to go basically as a bounty hunter. Basically, Dennis is like a bounty hunter, which is kind of cool. So Dennis goes, and tracks down SpongeBob and Patrick being paid by Plankton, to kill them. Which, I'm not gonna lie, I think. Now, here's the thing. Some people have said that that Plankton is a little too evil in this movie. And, I don't know, I'm kind of like, I mean, the thing is, it creates a good plot, but I'm like, I kind of agree, I think they make him a little too evil, like, I don't know, I feel like, I don't know, we wouldn't have Dennis, probably, if that were the case, but, I don't know, I just think, Plankton being the one who, I think, they were trying to make Plankton, exceed and all that, and make him an actual villain, but I don't know if making Plankton the main villain of the movie, I don't know, I'm kind of mixed on it, like, it created a good plot, but also, I'm like, I don't know, I'm kind of just, like, kind of a little bit mixed on that, but I mean, we do get probably one of, maybe if not my favorite villain of the entire series, at least from what I could see, because I kind of quit watching SpongeBob after season 10, I kind of quit watching it, because I wanted to kind of wait until I reviewed, the episodes to talk about that, but yeah, Dennis is such a great villain, I really, really do like him, and all, even though he's voiced by Alec Bowman, and, there was some problems with that, too, but I'm honestly kind of just used to the drama behind the scenes anymore, not in this movie, but he, he killed somebody, like, he didn't mean to do it, from what I could hear, but he's also, I think there's other problems with him, like, I think I've heard he's kind of, I don't know, like, grumpy and this and that, like, I don't know, like, there's a lot of drama with celebrities and stuff, but, I'm just kind of used to it, but, that's the thing, too, this was years before all of that, so, you could take that with a grain of salt, too, so at least, there's that, but But yeah, I mean, I do like his role here. Like where he played a character in like a character in Madagascar too. He was more goofy. Here he's actually a lot more serious. Like he's a very serious guy. He's very dangerous and all that. Even though he doesn't have a lot of screen time, he's still a lot more dangerous. I think he's a lot more dangerous, and I really do like his design and all that with his sunglasses and all that. He's a really good villain. Like he really is. Like they have a good setup for him, and yeah, he gets defeated quick, but not like super quick, which honestly also kind of leads to probably another part of the movie that people think about when they watch this movie is there's a very sad point in the movie. I talked about the pirates and stuff. So SpongeBob and Patrick go all their way, and then they get run into Dennis. The Cyclops steps on Dennis, and I like that the Cyclops is literally just a man in a diving suit. Like that's actually really clever. And I like the live action, versus the animation. That's something though I definitely will say. I don't feel like they top it, as much down the road. I think it looks like that. That's kind of something that I feel like them turning the character CGI. It just doesn't have that same effect. Like it once did. I mean, there are like the TV movies and stuff like that too, where I think they do go to space. And I mean, we do have an episode where like Sandy goes to the moon down the road. I've reviewed. I think I've reviewed it actually a couple of times. Yeah, I did. I reviewed it for the, like I was celebrating, my little, I think my anniversary thing or something like that. I don't remember what it was, but I did review the episodes. Yeah, I did that, but yeah, basically though, yeah, they do it every so often, but yeah, I definitely kind of hate that they kind of got rid of that. But yeah, basically what happens is the Cyclops kills them, and what's really sad is the scene is dragged out very long, and you see them slowly dry up, and it's really sad, even though they're gonna be fine because we've seen them die before. It's still very sad, to see it and all that, just to see it, happen and all that, because I mean with the tree and the tree dome, it was dark, but it wasn't like as sad. Was really sad, because they felt bad because they failed everybody and they never got to their destination. But it turns out they did, and then they cry and all, and that's where the whole pirate thing comes into. They cut to them crying and all that, and then apparently the bird tells them to shut up because there's apparently a freaking a tear and all that, and it saves them. But it's so satisfying seeing seeing them also, just seeing SpongeBob and Patrick get the crown and all that, and then all these sea creatures come to life and freaking take down the Cyclops. It's really funny, it really is, and all that. And then we have the epic part where we have David Hasselhoff show up, and apparently he has a robotic version of himself too. So they made a big model of him for the set. Which, by the way, actually, a couple years ago, or was it a couple years ago? I don't know. It was not a long time ago, but apparently it got sold on an auction. Somebody bought it. I mean, I like David Hasselhoff and all that, but I don't know if I would want a giant human size, or actually, it wouldn't even be a human sized boat. I think it was even bigger than that. I don't know if I'd want that. But I like too, we get to see like Dennis come back to fight them. I will say his sunglasses looked better and all that, but it's nice to see him come back. And then I like that we see Hasselhoff, uses pecs and like, shoot SpongeBob and Patrick down to the and all that, which is really cool. And yeah, I'm sure it probably drove some people crazy seeing him do that, but it was still pretty nice. And then we get some moments where like I was gonna talk about the Sandy thing too as well, because I know I talked about her before, but that was kind of what I was talking about. That Plankton, apparently brought in the slave because he was trying to take over the Bikini Bottom, and apparently he enslaved everybody, and then he also, I guess, came in there and all that. But that's kind of something I wanted to bring up too. I feel like they could have, because I meant to bring this up to that. I think I don't know if I would want Squidward or Sandy to go on the journey, because I think the journey for SpongeBob and Patrick to go on made more sense. But I feel like they could have had Sandy maybe with Squidward, and maybe they both Squidward was getting ready to get taken out. Sandy comes in and karate chops everybody and all that, and then they both get captured, and then they get turned into slaves, like off screen or something like that. They could have done something like that, but they didn't do that. There actually was a deleted scene where Sandy did have more of a role on the storyboard. But that would have been on land and stuff. But I liked it better of having David Hasselhoff there. But I definitely think they could have had that. They definitely could have had Sandy be there with Squidward or something like that. Have her have some more screen time, even if it's minor. It still would have been nice to have her have more than just 2 lines of dialogue, and one of them was just a yeehaw, when SpongeBob freed her, from slavery, it still would have been nice, because she was pretty much just pushed in the background in this movie. But yeah, it is really nice too. We get to see SpongeBob have this Goofy Goober rock and roll song, which is badass. Speaking of badass, his guitar playing. I think he probably would give Squidward a run for his money, because he can really play like a guitar. I mean, I guess Squidward plays the clarinet, but you know what I mean. It's pretty funny. And then he frees everybody because of that, and I will say I think I might like it more than now that we're men song. I like that song too, which that song, that music from that song actually played in The Great Snail Race, and then the music for the fish, I think it's Mexican music. It played in The Sponge Who Can Fly, so I like those references there. But the Goofy Goober song was really catchy. I really liked it a lot, even though it's kind of a remix, I think, of another song. It's still really good. It's still really good. And then SpongeBob apparently becomes becomes manager of the Krusty Krab, because Squidward and Mr. Krabs decides he deserves it. And then Plankton goes to jail, which, yes, he should have gone to jail for what he did, even though I do think they make him a little too evil in this movie. Even though, like I said, he's talked about world domination before, but I never really felt like that was his character. I felt like more so he could get aggressive and very emotional. I never really felt like he was like that. I felt like he just wanted to steal the formula, But yeah, I mean, it still created a nice plot. So I mean, I guess it was all right with that. But but yeah, for being the finale, yeah, seeing one of your favorite characters getting sent to jail and all that, even though like yeah he is a villain, but yeah, I don't feel like he again would have done this kind of stuff, especially hiring somebody to go kill SpongeBob and Patrick like that. I don't know if like he would do that, but I still think there was some stuff there, but yeah, I think this movie definitely, in my opinion, deserves. Like I said, we got a good here. I'm gonna go ahead and give it a score because I'm about ready to wrap it up. 93 points. Yeah, I'm giving it 93 points. Yeah, this movie is not bad. I don't think it's bad. I definitely have some problems with it, but I really do think it's really funny. Even though, yeah, I think there's a lot of nudity in this movie. There are other jokes. Like I haven't brought up to like SpongeBob, getting drunk and all that, drinking, like he's just drunk, drinking, ice cream and all that. It's like basically like alcohol, but with ice cream. It's really funny seeing that, him and Patrick doing that. But yeah, this episode was, this movie though is definitely really good. It has its problems, but I definitely don't think it deserves a meh or a bad. I think it's definitely really good. I'm not gonna like use nostalgic to like I don't feel like I feel like I can say it has problems, like I feel like a lot of people, like, no offense to people's opinions, but I feel like a lot of people kind of, when they review this movie or talk about it in the comments or something, people don't really point out the problems. And there are some problems with it. Like I said, like Sandy barely having any screen time, but people are talking about how this movie, should have been the finale. And it was a good movie, but I don't really feel like there was I feel like I would have liked to see more of, like, Sandy and all that, and I mean, even some people say, too, that it takes place, like, people are just saying it takes place in the future, where the other stuff can take place in the, before. I want to clarify that, though, SpongeBob technically really doesn't have a timeline. Like, one point, they could be doing this, the next they could be doing that, Like, one episode in season 2, they literally go on strike, and then it just ends with them for eternity, working at the Krusty Krab, and then everything's just set back the next time, So SpongeBob, never really has, the same timeline, but I mean, I don't really see besides maybe the 300 and something portraits of SpongeBob winning Employee of the Month. I don't really see anything else that intends that this timeline is different than the others. Because I mean, you could say, well, the Krusty Krab too, but the Krusty Krab too, that was I mean, let's be real here. There is no way Mr. Krabs would be able to keep the Krusty Krab 2 going. Like, there is no way he'd be able to keep it going because the Krusty Krab, 2 would need more employees than just SpongeBob. There is no way he could just do it by himself, There is no way he can. He wouldn't be able to do it. Like, he would definitely not be able he would not be able to do all that. That's kind of the thing. But yeah, I just don't really see much of, I just don't see much of much evidence of this taking place in the future besides it said the portraits on the wall. But again, like I said, it doesn't really take away anything, But yeah, I mean, but like I said too, with some of that stuff. Like I said, some people say too. Like I said, people say it's a good movie. It is. It is a really good movie, even though, like I said, it has problems. But yeah, I definitely am not somebody who wouldn't be scared to point out some problems. It's like, because I will do that sometimes. I do that sometimes. That's why I do these reviews. I like to talk about my own thoughts. But another thing I wanna say too, like I said, with the stuff too, with this movie too, is yeah, I think besides Sandy, not getting a lot of screen time, I don't know. I said, like I said, Patchy too not being in it. I think that was a missed opportunity too, and like, this stuff doesn't really take away, the movie. It just kind of, it feels, like more empty than anything. If you guys know what I mean. Like, it feels a little bit more empty. But before I go, there is one more thing I want to point out too. And that is the expressions on the characters' faces in this movie too. The reason why I'm pointing this out is because down the road, they will get really crazy with this stuff. But right now, they're crazy, but they're not super crazy. But like, for example, like when like, King Neptune is like laughing, we see his like eyes all like popped out and all that, and when we see the characters have more expressions. Even when SpongeBob was drunk, we saw the drunk SpongeBob. Yeah, we see he has like a weird, like, I mean, I guess they've done that before with the looks and stuff like that, but it's definitely a lot more exaggerated here a little bit. And I also like that, they the further they get to, to Shell City, I also noticed, like, the more creepy and dark it looks, and actually it even looks kind of more realistic. It's kind of cool. Yeah, I definitely do like that too. But yeah, there's a lot of that stuff, but I will probably point that stuff out down the road. I just figured I'd point it out here because it's kind of something I noticed. But yeah, this review ended up being super long, but I had a lot to say. Like I said, a lot of these reviews, I've had tons to say about them. But I don't want to say everything because, I want to save the review for you guys to watch, if you guys want to check out this stuff. But yeah, I just had a lot to say about this movie. But I can't wait until a few months down the road when I get to review Season 4. When I review Season 4, then we get to talk more. That's when the show will start going, into a different, path. Because a lot of the writers will leave and all that. Because now we are officially done with the good era of SpongeBob. And a lot of people's eyes. I can't say anything until I review Season 4 and 5. But as for right now, this is technically classified as the good era of SpongeBob. Season 4 and 5 will be the mid era, or the gray area, as Wicked Binge would put it, the gray area of SpongeBob. Is what we're going to be getting into here. But we'll talk more about that later. Anywho, I hope you guys enjoyed this review. I'm sorry if it was long, but I had a lot to say. I had a lot to say with this movie. But that just tells you how great this movie was, despite it having some problems. There was a lot going on in the movie, and yeah. But I'm gonna go ahead and let you guys go, and I'll see you guys later. Anywho, bye-bye.